taking a look at the last 4 according to our Jerry Palm. Michigan State still very much alive at 14-11. VCU, Drake, and St. Louis. All 4 have some work to do if we're thinking about making it into that tournament field. All right, time to bring in our Jerry Palm there to break this all down, the battle between Michigan and Michigan State. If you're looking at Sparty, they do have those wins against Illinois and Ohio State on their resume. They do get a chance to see Michigan again this weekend. Best case scenario, win or lose, could they still get in either way?
Well, I mean, win is obviously huge. You're beating a number 1 seed. You add that to Illinois and Ohio State, and that's a big highlight on the tournament resume for Michigan State. They're not definitely in if they beat Michigan State, but they are a lot closer to definitely in. I'm sorry, if they beat Michigan. If they lose, they still have a chance. And this is why the Indiana win was so important, because if they lose to Michigan again, they enter the Big Ten tournament at 14-12, 2 games above 500. If they'd have lost to Indiana, they'd be a 500 team and would have to make a deep run just to have a good enough record to get picked. Michigan State may have to do something in the conference tournament either way, but if they can beat Michigan, it's a lot less than if they don't.
The Sparty has the 3rd longest active streak when we're talking about making it to the tournament at 22, trying to keep that alive there. But when we're looking at the 2 teams they beat in Illinois, Ohio State, they will meet this weekend. If you're looking at the Buckeyes, if they're able to beat the Fighting Illini again, they beat twice this year, could they challenge them for that 4th number 1 seed?
In fact, they would take it over. You know, I know everybody's excited because Illinois is hot and they're a very good team, and they beat Michigan soundly, but it's just 1 win, not 3. But if Ohio State beats Illinois on Saturday, their resumes will be very similar. They'll have the same record. They'll have very strong schedules and very strong wins. But the thing that'll stand out is Ohio State swept them in this regular season. So Ohio State would move back up to the top line of the bracket with a win on Saturday. If Illinois wins, now you've got a gap between these 2 teams a little bit, and Illinois looks a lot safer as a number 1 seed if they can beat the Buckeyes on Saturday.
Of course, those 2 will meet, and be interesting to see how that pans out there. Meanwhile, some teams that are still fighting for their lives to get in. St. Louis, out of the A-10, they finished 4th there. Of course, opening the conference tournament in the A-10 with UMass. How far do they need to go in their own conference tournament to get a chance in that 68 field?
Yeah, it's not really about how far you go, but who do you play on your way through the conference tournament? And St. Louis is in a position where the only teams they can afford to lose to are St. Bonaventure and VCU. And they need to probably beat one of those teams in this conference tournament if they're going to have much of an at-large shot at all. Their schedule was ravaged by COVID. They had a 34-day break in the middle of the season and just didn't get as many chances against the better teams in this league. And so they need to try and get those chances in this conference tournament, but that starts by beating UMass today.
And you said they're looking up at 3 other teams. You say the same thing for Drake in the Missouri Valley Conference, looking up at the Ramblers. What's the best case scenario for them in their conference tournament to be a part of that conversation?
Yeah, well, to be an at-large, I'm not even sure they can be an at-large, but the best case scenario for an at-large for Drake is to lose to Loyola in the final. But the problem for Drake is they don't have anybody else in the league that can help them in terms of a victory, and they're shorthanded. Their 2 best players are not playing in the Missouri Valley tournament. Their 2nd best players out for the postseason as well. So they're going to have to do it with a short bench or without their 2 best players. But realistically, Drake probably has to win the Missouri Valley tournament if they're going to get in.
All right, we'll see. Maybe they meet up there in the championship against other Ramblers there. Jerry Palm, as always, breaking it down for us the closer we get there. Appreciate your time as always, my friend. All right, don't forget, bracket season is just around the corner. Get started early with your CBS Sports Conference Bracket Challenge, presented by Hertz. Going the extra mile for you. Register for a chance to win $10,000 at cbssports.com/conference again. That's cbssports.com/conference again. Get in on that money. Why not? And don't forget, check out the fellows Gary Parrish and Matt Norlander, Iowa College Basketball podcast, breaking it down per usual. The closer we get to tournaments, now we're getting into conference tournaments, how much that weight levels on the field of 68 for others. Jerry just tapped in on that. Michigan State still alive. Maybe we'll see. Download and subscribe. Give the fellas a listen.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.